Hey everyone, Scottman. We are here to do a drive video today. We are heading east on Interstate 80. We are here in just about, I'd say, central Pennsylvania right now. And we're going to be heading east, obviously, going from Interstate 99 all the way to Interstate 180. So yeah, I wanted to do this freeway video here today because, like, well, one, I'm doing a road trip right now out to Massachusetts, so this is on the way. But I picked this stretch in particular because we get a lot of great scenery in this area. But yeah, so yeah, back at where we started the video, that's where Interstate 99 begins or ends, depending on which way you're going on it. And if you head to the southwest on Interstate 99, that'll take you like in the general direction where State College is, which is where Penn State University is located. But yeah, it is kind of cloudy out right now. The sun's been peeping out a little bit, but it's not too bad out temperature-wise. My current thermometer is reading 51 degrees Fahrenheit. If you convert that to Celsius, it's around 11 degrees. So not too bad for like early April. Yeah, it is really nice to finally get some time off from work, because I not only have off for like a long Easter weekend, but I took all of next week off, and I had yesterday off too. So yeah, it'd be nice to get a little bit of a break. But yeah, I'm on my way out to Massachusetts right now. I'm not getting there today. I'm gonna get there tomorrow. I'm gonna be making a pit stop this evening. Technically in New Jersey, although I probably like 2 or 3 miles away from Manhattan, at least for the hotel I'm staying at. So probably before I head out to Massachusetts, I might make a little, probably not for a video or anything, but I might stop in New York City, like into Manhattan for a few hours. Which I was last there for Labor Day weekend in 2021. Try to check out a couple food places and also walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, because those are some things I didn't get a chance to do back in 2021. So it's like, since I'm in the area, it's like I might as well stop in. But yeah, I'm not taking my car into New York City, so do not ask me if I'm doing a driving video in Manhattan. The answer is going to be no. It's like, not unless you like for me to suffer pain and misery, just because of all the endless traffic lights and all the traffic that's in Manhattan. Although it's like I could go in there like in the middle of the night though, and drive around. The traffic wouldn't be too bad, but probably would not be able to see things too well. But yeah, what's nice about driving through Pennsylvania is that, yeah, it's that you got a lot of rolling terrain, and of course you got some more like mountains. There was even a little bit that I drove through between where I started this video and back over in the Du Bois area. But we got more coming up here. It's like, yeah, one thing about driving on all the different interstates that are in the northeastern United States, like a lot of them are tolled, although Interstate 80 here in Pennsylvania is not, with the exception of if you're driving west on I-80 going across the Delaware River, because there is a toll going west across the Delaware going into Pennsylvania, but eastbound going into New Jersey there is not. But anyway, it's like, yeah, due to all the different toll roads, yeah, I decided to buy one of those easy passes. For Michiganders, it's not really that practical to buy one because Michigan currently does not have any toll roads, excluding Windsor Tunnel underneath the Detroit River, or going across the Blue Water Bridge going over from Port Huron, or taking the International Bridge going across in Sault Ste. Marie up in the Upper Peninsula. There has been talks about possibly tolling some of the freeways in Michigan. I'll be curious if that ever happens. The reason for that is to provide some funding to get some funding for all the roads for like upkeep, because Michigan is notorious for the really bad roads. Although I will admit, it's like, even though it's a pain in the butt to have all the road work everywhere in the state of Michigan, it's nice that the roads are finally getting repaired to where it's getting better, but there's still a lot of work that has to be done. But meanwhile, driving here in Pennsylvania, the road's been really nice so far. Anyway, so if Michigan was to ever get toll roads, I could then see Michigan accepting like the Easy Pass. But it's like, yeah, because like Ohio and then all the northeastern United States, they got so many toll roads. It's like I figure might as well get one this time, because it'll make getting billed for the tolls a lot easier. Because when I was on the New York State Thruway on my road trip to New England 2 years ago, I was getting billed like 1 or 2 months later, because I had to do the pay by mail option. Because in the state of New York, it's at least on the New York State Thruway, it's completely cashless. Like, it's all electronic. So it's either have to have one of the Easy Pass transponders, or they take a picture of your license plate and they send you a bill in the mail. So obviously I didn't have an Easy Pass in 2021, so I had to get a bill in the mail, and I ended up getting billed like almost 2 months later. So I figured with the Easy Pass, it might be a lot quicker. And heck, and not only that too, because I bought mine through the state of Ohio, I can get discounts on the Ohio Turnpike. And it does make it nice not having to hand out cash or a credit card to pay the toll for the Ohio Turnpike. It's like, yeah, what's a bummer is that on some of the states, when you use it with my transponder that's based out of Ohio, I don't get discounts going like through the state of New York, for example. Although I did see that if I were to take the Pennsylvania Turnpike, which is for the most part Interstate 76, I think they do offer the discount, but I could be wrong about that. Hopefully I'm not, because if I were to drive the Pennsylvania Turnpike, the Pennsylvania Turnpike is insanely expensive without Easy Pass. But yeah, it's like I'll have to find out if I were to do like a drive one time to like to Harrisburg or Philadelphia. Although if I was doing like a trip to Philadelphia, I probably would just fly, because I can easily fly from Detroit to Philadelphia. And when I'm in Philadelphia, I don't necessarily need to rent a car unless I was going way out in the suburbs. So yeah, here come some mountains up ahead. We're pretty much in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains right now. I'm not sure exactly where the Appalachian Trail is. I don't know if it's in this range up ahead or if it was further back. Because a ways before I filmed this video, between Interstate 99 and Du Bois, you have the highest point, or you have the highest point on Interstate 80 east of the Mississippi River, which is like over 2,200 feet above sea level. So the mountain range you'll be going through up ahead is not as tall, at least for the elevation that Interstate 80 goes up to. But yeah, then of course if you go further west on Nebraska. Then you start to really go up in elevation, going up in like the Wyoming, and then of course, eventually going all the way over to San Francisco, California. But yeah, I'd love to get back out to the western part of the United States again. Because yeah, I really enjoyed that road trip I did out to Utah and Arizona almost 3 years ago. Of course, the only downside, if I were to do a full drive from Michigan, it's a long drive. We're going anywhere in New England, or especially, or pretty much anywhere in the Northeast, I could easily get there in a day or like 2 shorter days. Drive out to Arizona, it takes at least 2, maybe even 3 days. Unless I was to drive straight through, which is not really recommended. Unless you're doing the drive with someone else, where you can take turns and one person sleeps, the other person drives. Or probably the better option is just to fly out to either like LA or San Francisco, or go to like to Utah, fly out to Salt Lake City or Las Vegas, and then rent a car for several days and then road trip from there. Yep, now we're seeing some even better terrain in here, some better views. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it's like the sun's peeping out here and there. I've been starting to see more cloud cover as I've been getting into more and more into Pennsylvania. Back when I was in Ohio, it was a lot more sunny. But yeah, looking at the extended weather forecast as of right now, it's looking fantastic. Like, I think the entire time of me in Massachusetts, I don't think it's supposed to rain once. Which, that's almost like my trip to England around this time last year. Because yeah, at this time last year, I was in the United Kingdom. And of course, England is well known for, well, anywhere in the United Kingdom, not just England, they get a lot of rain over there. And it was very shocking that I hardly saw any rain when I was there. So it's like I've been picking the good destinations lately when it comes to finding good weather, especially in April. So yeah, after this exit for Highway 220 North, then yeah, we'll start to go into the mountains. Although I can say we're going up in elevation a little bit, but yeah, this is nothing compared to drives I've done out in the western part of the United States. Which again, it's like other than California, when I went to San Diego last year, I haven't been out to the western part of the U.S. in a while. And when I mean western U.S., I mean like anywhere like along basically Interstate 25 and west. Yeah, I also need to get back out to Colorado at some point too, just because, yeah, Colorado is such a beautiful state. It's one of my favorite states. But yeah, I haven't been down to over to Colorado Springs yet, and it's supposed to be pretty cool. And of course, from Colorado Springs, you can drive up Pikes Peak, which that'd be pretty impressive. Heck, even from Denver, even going up Mount Evans would be really cool too. It's the only 14er, which is basically a mountain in Colorado, like a mountain that's 14,000 feet above sea level or higher. It's the only one I think you can drive up. Whereas, like, for anybody who's from Colorado who climbs all the mountains in that state, like if someone like me were to drive, it's like I summited my first 14er. I drove up to the top of Mount Evans. Someone from Colorado would be like, hold my beer. Might be because they could probably just walk up to the other, or climb up to the top of the other ones that you can't drive up. we got some impressive scenery in here. Although, unfortunately, because this is kind of early into April, so none of the leaves are in bloom yet. But it's alright. Yeah, this is my third time going through here, because all my road trips I've done to New England, I've always taken Interstate 80. But yeah, I would say this is probably one of the prettiest stretches of Interstate 80 in the state of Pennsylvania. Or technically, I'd say anywhere east of the Mississippi River. A lot of tall cliffs, and it's like, yeah, you gotta be careful in here too, because you never know. Because yeah, on the right shoulder you can see some rocks over there. But it's like, yeah, when you're going up these mountains like we are right now, it's like you have to deal with a lot of slow trucks because they can't necessarily go up these inclines very fast. Some can, but others really have to chug along. Like, see the one on the far right that has its flashers on. But yeah, I say this is a pretty drive. And if I remember right, I don't think they show you the elevation at the top of this mountain pass. It's like they do, like when they tell you that you're at the highest point east of the Mississippi, but because they do that in Colorado and a lot of the western states, where if you go up a mountain pass, they tell you the elevation. But it's like they don't do that here for some reason, which is a shame, but maybe someday. Okay, I can get over now. But yeah, it's like, yeah, with my directions I have going like to the hotel I'm staying at in the New York area, I got like another 3 hours to go unless traffic builds up once I get well into New Jersey or something. So up here, yeah, we're starting to go down in elevation. Probably have some water. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, when I stopped, because I had to stop to fill up my gas tank over back in Du Bois, Pennsylvania, and I finally got to check out Sheetz, which Sheetz is basically it's a Pennsylvania-based gas station, which not only they got gas stations and of course restrooms, it's also a convenience store, and they also have food there too. So it's like you can get burgers, chicken sandwiches, I think chicken tenders, Mexican food. You can get salads. And I think even with their salads, you even get French fries mixed into your salad too, which is really cool. So it's almost like Sheetz is to Pennsylvania as Buc-ee's is to Texas, although Sheetz is not nowhere near as big as Buc-ee's or anything in terms of size. But yeah, I finally got to check one out, and yeah, fries, I thought they were better than Arby's. So it's like now I know what the fuss is all about when it comes to Sheetz. But yeah, it's like they're all over here in Pennsylvania. And there's some over in Ohio too. I think there's even people in Michigan who want to have Sheetz come in, but I don't. Last I heard, I don't think they're supposed to. But I could be wrong. Just like Michigan doesn't have Buc-ee's or anything. Because the one that's the furthest north is up in down in Kentucky. Although I will say, if Michigan was to ever open up a Buc-ee's, it's like, watch there be a 2-mile long line to fill up your gas tank at one. It's like, because for example, it's like when Chick-fil-A opened up in Michigan, you had these very, very long lines to go through the drive-thru. Although I think when Chick-fil-A did open up, it was during the pandemic. So like during the main part of the pandemic, where like a lot of the dining areas were kind of closed. So everybody pretty much had to go through the drive-thru. So that probably made it worse. But even today, and like when you go through a Chick-fil-A drive-thru in Michigan, the lines for the drive-thru can be a little lengthy, but they do go pretty swiftly. Yeah, I will say, Interstate 80 has been pretty smooth so far. The traffic has not been anything too crazy. But it's like, I better enjoy this while it lasts, because things are only going to get busier once I get closer to New York. Because yeah, once I get into New Jersey, Interstate 80 is going to be a lot more busy. And then of course tomorrow when I drive from New York up to Boston, Interstate 95 is always busy. Say too is that this year so far I've done a lot of traveling, which this is probably the most I've done travel related stuff, or out of state travel, like in the first 4 months, out of probably any year in a very long time. So I've done at least one out of state trip each month so far in 2023. Because in January, because I started the year down in Mississippi and Alabama. February I went to Austin, Texas, and I also did like a weekend trip down to Indianapolis. That for the latter was, I didn't film anything for that trip. March I went to 90s Con in Hartford, Connecticut, and now I'm heading to Massachusetts this month. So coming up here, now we're going to really start to go downhill. We'll get some pretty cool views momentarily. See if the decline is strong enough to, okay, no, it's not that strong, because I was trying to see if I could take my foot off the gas and see if it would maintain the speed, but not the case. Especially compared to back during the pandemic, this has been a lot better. Because yeah, it's like when I look back, last year I didn't do any. Well, I started out 2022 in Houston, But then I didn't go anywhere out of state for about 3 months, which was then when I went to the United Kingdom back in April last year. 2021, I didn't do anything until Memorial Day weekend when I flew out to Boston. Which with this trip, I'm gonna be spending more of my time outside of Boston this time, because I haven't got to see a lot of Massachusetts beyond the city of Boston. Although I did do that day trip to Gloucester and Rockport. So I want to see more of Massachusetts that's outside of Boston. Like I'm going to Cape Cod for one, which I'm really looking forward to doing that. So getting back to what I was saying, and then 2020, as the pandemic started in March of 2020. So it's like I started out that year in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And of course I went home several days into the month. And then after that, I did a trip to Dallas, Texas in February, and then that was it until I did that road trip to the Dakotas in August. Somebody's pulled over, so I better go over to the left lane. No, it's a police officer. I couldn't tell it was a police officer or it was a tow truck. Okay, now I can get back over. But yeah, it's like you gotta be careful with how fast you're going on this freeway, just because, like, yeah, with the traffic flow is not being too bad, and you got all these winding roads, like you feel like you're on a speedway or something. We're actually going up in elevation again a little bit. Entering Union County. Here a little bit more forested, which is really, really nice. But yeah, so after I get done with this road trip, I'm not sure when the next out-of-state adventure is going to be. So I almost feel like I need to take a little bit of a break and do some more things around Michigan now that the weather's finally getting nice. It's like I have a big international trip planned in early September. Again, I'm not going to reveal that yet. I will eventually though. So yeah, make sure to stay tuned. But try to do some other like short trips or something between now and then. Like I'm already planning one that's like a long weekend that's just in the state of Michigan. And then I also anyway, it's like I also need to get out to Calgary too, because I have a very, very good friend of mine who lives out there. And I haven't seen her since she was living in the greater Toronto area a few years ago. Yeah, I'm not sure how far I have to go until I get to Interstate 180, which is like to the south of Milton, Pennsylvania. So I'm gonna go which ones I want to do yet. I want to try to do at least one, hopefully on Interstate 95 tomorrow. Maybe two if I'm lucky. But I just want to make sure that if I film one, I want to film one if I'm going to be spending 20 minutes in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Because I have no idea what traffic's going to be like on Easter weekend on I-95. Good on having to fill up my gas tank. I shouldn't have to fill up the rest of the day. Although I might have to fill it up maybe before I leave the New York area, which, yeah, it's like, heck, if I were to fill up my gas tank in New Jersey, there'll be a pump attendant who will do that because I don't know what the law is. I don't know what the law states. I don't know. I think it's either illegal to pump your own gas in New Jersey or someone is required to pump your gas in New Jersey. But it's like in New Jersey and in Oregon, there is an attendant who fills up your gas for you in your car. So it'd be cool to finally experience that. Say the one downside of driving on Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania is that it is very lengthy, because Pennsylvania is a very long state to drive through. Although to make up for it, you do get nice scenery. Because I would rather drive east and west through the entire state of Pennsylvania than east and west through the entire state of Nebraska. So I always remember when I drove through Nebraska, when I was going from, like, driving from Michigan all the way out to, like, Denver, Colorado, I remember it's like the scenery was not all that great. Once I got west of Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska, it was very dull going all the way over to Interstate 76, as in Interstate 76 West. And that's an interesting thing, too, is that there are two Interstate 76s. There's an Interstate 76, which is here in Pennsylvania, which is the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Interstate 76 starts out over at I-71 west of Akron. And then it links up with the Ohio Turnpike west of Youngstown, and it continues into Pennsylvania going north of Pittsburgh. And it basically goes almost through the entire state of Pennsylvania, pretty much all the way out to the east, almost to the east coast, like out to the Philadelphia area. But there is a second Interstate 76 that is in Colorado and a tiny part of Nebraska, where it starts out on Interstate 80 in the western part of Nebraska, and then it heads southwest into Denver, and then it ends at Interstate 70. So it's like, it makes me wonder why they did that, why there are two Interstate 76s. And I don't know if I don't see them ever making a connection for Interstate 76. Because the gap between western Nebraska and central Ohio is just way too great. Towards, like, it almost makes more sense to have Interstate 76 in Colorado be more like not necessarily accurate. Sometimes you'll see police officers pull over, like you see one over here. I can probably get over now because everybody's going at a pretty good speed. But other times, they're not there. But to be honest with you, it's like there's not really any reason why you'd want to go 10, 15, 20 over the speed limit to begin with, because it's a little dangerous. It's like I think the only time that might just going 15 or 20 over the speed limit was justified is if you're trying to flee a tsunami or something. But in Pennsylvania, you're not going to see a tsunami, so you don't have to worry about that one. So I think we got just a little bit more to go, just like several more miles. Because we're getting closer to Interstate 180. Like I was going to consider continuing the video going even further, maybe going toward Interstate 81, which is the freeway which goes up to Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, but that video would probably be way too long, and because this video is already getting pretty lengthy as it is. Still got a ways to go, like even off camera, but it's not too bad though. It's like only like another 2.5 to 3 hours left. One nice thing about road tripping in the spring is that you have more daylight compared to doing a road trip around Christmas. Because I just remember when I was doing the road trip down to Alabama, didn't start to get light out till like 8 o'clock in the morning, where now it's like closer to 7, or at least in Michigan. Here in Pennsylvania, it's probably even earlier, just because we're that much further east. Okay, so yeah, coming up ahead, we got the exit for Highway 15. They'll be going over the west branch of the Susquehanna River, and then we'll be to Interstate 180, and that's where we will end this video. So as you'll see in a couple minutes, we'll go over the west branch of the Susquehanna River, which that might be Susquehanna River. Because the west branch of the Susquehanna River goes into the main branch, and then because the Susquehanna River goes through Harrisburg, and then it continues further south through the state. Okay, pass up the truck now, so go ahead and I'll merge over. Okay, so yeah, we'll be ending the video in a couple minutes. Okay, so then yeah, here's Highway 15, at least the exit for it. Oh, it looks like Highway 15 is a freeway over here. Interesting. Alright, and yeah, we're about to come to the river Interstate 180, technically it's marked west. But you can take that, Interstate 180 will take you over to Milton, Pennsylvania. Oh, this is, my Google Maps saying West Branch, Susquehanna River. That sign just saying Susquehanna River. But it'll take you down to Harrisburg, though. Alright, so we are here at Interstate 180. So I hope you enjoyed this video here on Interstate 80 East, going from Interstate 99 all the way to Interstate 180. Oh, here's the interchange. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thank you for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scottman895 here from just south of Milton, Pennsylvania.